Last week Mando, this week WandaVision, Disney's trailer boom has taken a turn for the bizarre. Get ready for this to get weird because the new trailer for WandaVision is here. What's up, Story Geeks? Thanks for joining us today on the Story Geeks YouTube channel. I'm Tim Wozni, nerd, gamer, and divinity student. Today we're taking a look at the new trailer dropped by Marvel Entertainment for WandaVision on Disney+. And boy oh boy is this trailer a doozy. And thanks for listening in. The Story Geeks YouTube channel is produced by the Reclamation Society. Make sure that you subscribe for more in-depth perspectives on geek content. This video will likely contain spoilery content for Disney Plus's WandaVision, so if you haven't already, I recommend watching the trailer before joining us in this discussion. Link will be in the description below. This trailer is a mixture of a lot of things, and it's equal parts goofy and terrifying, a combination of the Twilight Zone and the more fantastical sitcoms of the 50s and 60s. And over all of it is the Platters' 1958 cover of Twilight Time. Scenes open with marital bliss and the goofy humor of 50s sitcoms. The Vision changing his face before heading to work because of course he forgot he was red. And we see their nosy neighbor played by Kathryn Hahn, and then Wanda magically pouring wine a la Bewitched or I Dream of Genie. We then get to see a dinner scene with Wanda, Vision, and a Mr. and Mrs. Hart played by Fred Melamed, and that 70s show's Deborah Jo Rupp. This is where things start to get really interesting. As Wanda and Vision are pressured with questions about their story and the very 1950s question of why, oh why, do you not have children yet, neither one of them can seem to get a finger on what happened or why they're there. We see them get stuck, lost in their own minds. Mr. Hart begins to pound on the table with increasing pace and time rewinds. Life is suddenly in color and we hear Wanda ask, is this really happening? Scenes flash by quickly in a mix of joy, dancing, babies, aerobics, and Halloween costumes. The weirdness and fear of the previous scene has been forgotten. We then, however, get a more familiarly dressed Vision standing on a street of frozen trick-or-treaters before flying up over the frozen town. He lands next to their nosy neighbor where his touch seems to awake her from her frozen state. She asks Vision, am I dead? To which he replies, no, why would you think that? And perhaps what I think the most important line in the entire trailer is, she responds with, because you are, and then begins to laugh maniacally. And we get several shots of a weirder and weirder reality for Wanda and Vision. We then also get a shot of Teyonah Parris being launched a considerable distance, and presumably through some form of portal before being found by who I am guessing is the S.H.I.E.L.D. subgroup S.W.O.R.D. As the trailer ends, we get back to the black and white aesthetic of the start, and Wanda comments that we are an unusual couple, you know, and Vision responds that, oh, I don't think that was ever in question. Laugh tracks roll and the screen fades on their smiling faces. There are also a number of interesting cast revelations on IMDb. First up is Monica Rambeau. Previously seen as a young Lieutenant Trouble in Captain Marvel played by Akira Akbar, she is now grown and being played by Teyonah Parris. Dropping the name Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel was one of those Easter eggs that many assumed would grow into the full development of a character later in the franchise, with Rambeau's own status as an enhanced, taking names like Photon Spectrum as well as Captain Marvel. We also are going to see the return of Darcy, and according to the cast listing, Kat Dennings is going to return as Jane Foster's assistant and intern from Thor and Thor: The Dark World. So what the heck is Darcy doing back as a part of this show? The only thought I have is a possible connection between the conclusion of the series of events in WandaVision to Thor 4, or perhaps even Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, though I think this outcome is a little bit less likely. We also, again courtesy of IMDb, can expect to see the return of Randall Park as Agent Jimmy Woo, the former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent recruited by the FBI to keep track of Scott Lang in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Casting also alludes to the presence of S.W.O.R.D. agents, S.W.O.R.D. being a S.H.I.E.L.D. subgroup dealing with alien threats, an alien anti-terror group. Between these four cast listings, there are connections to three other major franchises within the MCU: Captain Marvel, Thor, and Ant-Man. So, where is this even going? Well, on one hand, I think it's going to answer one of the Infinity Stone plot holes from Endgame. Did Thanos really destroy the stones? The Ancient One comments as Bruce Banner seeks the Time Stone that to remove any single stone from a reality would result in that reality's destruction. The stones create our perception of the passage of time, and removing any one of them opens that universe to the invasion of dark forces. So how was Thanos able to destroy the stones as he claims to have done? Short answer, he didn't. The Russo brothers have stated that the stones weren't destroyed so much as they were reduced back to the atomic level. Now, presumably, none of the Avengers or Thanos understand the true nature of the stones, at least not yet. So the time heist of Endgame goes on as they rush to undo the snap. If the stones then were not truly destroyed, there is every chance that the Vision is still out there, or at least his consciousness is because of his connection to the Mind Stone. And permadeath in the MCU is a strange thing. And many people, including myself, thought that those who died pre-snap would all stay dead. The primary list of those individuals remains Loki, Gamora, and the Vision. We get to Endgame, and the time heist starts to wreak a bit of havoc on this. Loki takes the Tesseract and Nopes out, and a new Gamora follows a new Nebula through the timeways alongside a new Thanos and his new armies. We see alternate versions of all of these heroes join the MCU. Now we know that the plot of Guardians 3, teased at the end of Endgame, will point towards where the new Gamora has disappeared to. And the new Loki has his own new show coming, showcasing his adventures and return to the MCU. This was highlighted at Comic-Con in 2019, with Marvel execs hinting that we would see a very different Loki than the Loki who sacrifices himself at the start of Infinity War. All of the character development, especially that of Thor Ragnarok, is to some extent going to be overwritten. We are going to see a new Loki go on his own adventures and experience growth in a very different way. So what about the Vision? Well, we know that the Mind Stone is the source of both Vision's evolution from Jarvis to consciousness, as well as the source of Wanda Maximoff's powers as Scarlet Witch. With the revelation that the Mind Stone hasn't actually been destroyed, the potential for the Vision's return is more than promising. Kathryn Hahn's revelation of Vision's death could be pointing to the Vision's continued existence and consciousness despite the brutal separation of the Mind Stone from his body. While COVID has delayed and rearranged the production schedules and releases of films and television around the world, I still think that the flagship Marvel TV series on Disney Plus are going to tie up a number of the loose ends, like what really happened to the Infinity Stones, and welcome some well-loved faces back into the spotlight, and into new roles in the broader context of the MCU, as well as the next generation of the Avengers. Overall, I think WandaVision is going to have a brilliant time playing with the ideas of consciousness, soul, and death, and all the while point us back to this next generation of Marvel movies. But what do you think? Comment below what you think this wacky trailer reveals about WandaVision. Do you think the Avengers are going to return? Who might be up to lead them, and who else might be joining the team? That's it for today's show. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel for more geek content and hit the bell icon for notifications. We'll see you on the next show. Thank you for watching.